Hello there, we're gonna go over chaoszeronightmare's developer note that just came out, and before moving forward, ta-da! We got this guy. Alrighty, so hello, this is chaoszeronightmare development team. It has already been 1 month since the official launch of chaoszeronightmare, and let's now move on to the actual sections. And we got currency requirement improvements. There was a lot of feedback on units being aggressively siphoned from people because of progression cost and the zero system also taking a lot to generate those codexes, or merging I mean. But let's see, so based on your feedback and our in-game data, we've confirmed that the amount of unit currency for agent growth has been excessively burdensome. So let's see, they've now reduced things by 80%. So now for level 60 combatants, it went from 1 million to 216. So then for partners, it went from 500k to 100k. I didn't even realize that that was the level cap because I just didn't even bother leveling things past 50. I didn't know it was that ridiculous. Wow. Okay, so yeah, big change there. Next we'll be adding the Blackhorn Trade where you can obtain more agent growth currency, so they'll just be adding methods on getting that. Protos who wish to train more agents can now clear chaos to acquire a crystal of discord that can be exchanged at the Blackhorn Trade for additional growth currency. And there's a nuance here that says the amount of crystal earned is not heavily affected by difficulty level. They're also looking at a feature that temporarily raises selected combatant growth to match the captain's level. I'm gonna zoom this in for you real quick so that y'all can read along as well if you want. I realized it might be a little bit small. So we're also reviewing ways to let you experience and train a wider variety of your roster, such as raising combatant growth to match captain level. Cool. Yeah, this will be big for the Crystal of Discord part. I wonder if it's going to be some monthly ordeal where it's like a refresh shop, or if it's just going to be infinite. I highly doubt it'll be infinite, but I guess we'll find out when that feature actually launches. But if you'll recall back to my original review of saying I wanted more organic progression, this definitely leans more into that angle of just playing the game, you can level things, you don't have to go out of your way farming materials to do that. And that lets you like conserve your stamina and then put that into other things instead. So I hope they continue leaning more in that direction. Then chaos gameplay experience improvements. Improving the roguelike experience is an ongoing long-term task for the project. We are discussing a variety of potential enhancements and our goal is to implement improvements as soon as they become feasible. So they're adding a Reaper feature, which will just be letting you clear things a lot faster early on, so that you can expedite the initial combats and you can kind of just move forward. I remember getting this option, but it was only for 2 battles, I think, the other day. Moving onward, this one's going to be a quick one. They just added faint memory points to be in the menus, so you don't have to try to memorize the calculations or use something else to do it. They're going to be reducing skill animation time, because I guess some people found it to be too long, which I hope that's just like a toggle in the options and they don't just flat out apply that. I guess that's a personal preference thing. I've never felt them be too long. If anything, it's like sometimes they feel almost too fast. But let's see, so they'll be looking into that. Quality of life improvements, they'll do improved UI to clearly display the current turn count. I think that was mentioned in their version 1.1 livestream, or the developer note that came with it. And they're also going to make it a lot easier to swap around teams within the basin of hyperspace or stuff like that. And moving on to the animation improvements section, during chaos when entering a mental breakdown state, they'll just do more pizzazz and throw things around. We also want to explain our internal review regarding Yuki. Many protos expressed that Yuki's performance did not meet expectations. Our development team has reviewed this matter carefully. Internal data shows that Yuki already performs well in battles against tier more enemies. I wonder if their data is based on like a team as a whole, so like having the proper setup and all that stuff, or if that's just analyzing the unit by itself, right? There is a bit of a combinatorics like analysis thing there where it might be that Yuki's in a good team that helps her propel her to have success. I don't know. That's like combinatoric stuff. Therefore, instead of applying immediate buffs, we are analyzing Yuki's gameplay data and considering improvements that replace her least adopted Epiphany build-up options with more effective alternatives. In particular, we are actively reviewing a build option that allows Yuki to transition into a single target build, which I think is interesting because there's that one version of, Freezing Blade, that lets them isolate their damage to a single target. These will not be available immediately, but we'll do our best to deliver it as quickly as possible. We'll continue working to create content environments where pickup characters can fully showcase their abilities, so they'll work on advertising the character more. You can also encounter dimensional tunnels during Codex gameplay. I believe they mentioned this before. Yeah, this was mentioned during their live stream, how they're going to be rolling content over once the season is up, so I guess they're just doing that now as well, if I'm reading this correctly. Additionally, when you obtain an agent in rescue who has already completed Ego Manifestation, you will receive a reward, Spectral Cubes. I find it interesting how they are actually leaning into reworking Yuki's Epiphanies to try to make her also function as a single target DPS. So I wonder if that'll be the go-to for them of just trying to make more builds viable. That pretty much wraps up our coverage of the developer note. So thanks for watching, I hope you have a good one. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.